Thank you, Mama. Thank you for having me. And it's a lovely time to see a lot of attendees. Yeah, I'm in a great session with Amar as well. So let's just quickly get started. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Mike, over to you, and here you are. And the thanks for having you today.
Sure. Thank you. So yeah, I guess my screen, as I can see, is visible. Let me put it off. Yeah. Welcome everyone. So now we are going to go a little bit on a different topic inside Power Platform. So I'm going to share some good tricks and tricks which I have used myself in my business with related to Power Platform. Before that, I just would like to highlight we are going to talk about elevating your productivity. I'm sure like we use a lot of tools on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to talk about that. I am a Microsoft MVP in AI. I'm Abhilek Verma, and I love to travel, love to deliver lectures. I just had a couple of lectures in Malaysia and Singapore, and just landed today in India. I'm very happy to being delivering a lecture for the Power Platform as well. I've done it already for 3 to 4 countries, but yeah, it's an honor to deliver for Saudi Arabia. This is a little bit of a brief about me. I'm not going to go much detail, but if you would like to connect, you can scan my QR code or you can search my name. You would find it. I've recently won the Copilot Innovations Award for Societal Impact from Microsoft Netherlands and Vertel, and it's been a pleasure delivering a lot of lectures in this field. I have been traveling a lot, as you have seen, so I have some lectures scheduled as highlighted in the blue on the last. So I have few more countries to travel, and yeah, definitely I'll be happy if I get opportunities for Saudi Arabia as well, physical lectures as well. And I run a startup presently, which is more into deep tech. We try to use AI/ML to match recruiters with students looking for jobs and internships. So that's one problem statement currently I'm solving. I've been very lucky to do a lot of lectures on different topics, and I think AI with Copilot, I think I've done a lot, including Power Platform. So yeah, that's a little bit of a brief about me. Now, I mean, if you ask what are the things we are going to cover, so we are going to cover more on different tools and technologies which I use with Power Platform. Before moving to the next slide, I like to show you a live use case, probably a live kind of thing which I have developed along with my startup. So this is very specifically, by the way, for an insurance segment. There are different universities, different colleges, and B2B organizations where one of the key things is knowing the health challenges which every employee or every professor faces. So I've designed this very specifically with an app called Fitbit. It's an Indian solution which is for monitoring your health. So I'm going to show you what I've designed, how it has been implemented in the insurance sector with help of Power BI as well. Just before that, I just wanted to show you some kind of data which is captured of my own. As you can see, this is my workout intense data where my heart rate is increasing, every minute, as you can see. And this is like rough calories which I have burned with number of food steps I have taken. I'm sure we walk a lot, right? So with this devices, it just helps me to calculate how much food steps we are having. Along with that, it is showing me my heart rate, whether it is low, medium, or high, and then the burn rate, right? These are some of the parameters which is important to understand. So whether it is a line chart, bar chart, what are the influences which is impacting my calorie burn, decomposition tree, that means my heart rate and steps, the breakdown for calorie, the future steps and calories is forecasting, and clustering is, obviously grouping those activity based upon my heart rate and steps, right? So I'm going to show you live on Power, BI, like how does this look like? I'm sure we use a lot of Power BI, so it's pretty simple. If you're starting out, I can recommend, try to play around with the visualizations, just amazing. Just put an Excel file and you can actually see some amazing graphs. As you can see, like my heart rate is, increasing, and then it just falls around depending upon how many minutes I'm maybe doing brisk walking, or let's just say, walking. And then the bar chart also shows me how much is the calories what I have burned over time. So you can see how I can really play around with this visualizations. I can add data field, I can prepare different pivots, and I can just quickly jump in and change things much faster. So this is like an amazing tool which I use with Power BI. Even you can have different kind of influencers to check what is letting your calories burn. Okay, so if there is an increase, let's just say with the number of food steps you're taking, right? So what's the correlation and things like that. So you can just see like how my steps are going up and then how much is the average of calories that I'm burning, right? So whether it is increase or decrease, you can probably check all those factors here. Same with decomposition tree. I can probably estimate at moderate intensity how much is my heart rate, how much is the burn rate, how many steps I'm taking, and what is an average. So everything I can literally get in a button of click. And believe me, it's very easy to put this data to see in the Power BI. So this is just a claim data set I'm showing with insurance. I will also tell you why this is important in a few seconds. Now you can see my footsteps also increasing over time, going to up to 1050 as I can see. And then finally is the clustering part. So you can cluster it based upon how many footsteps you have done, how many, what is your sum of heart rate and then sum of calories burned, right? Now you might be asking, be like, why is this so important? Why are you showing me this? Well, this is super important because there are insurance companies out there and they use this data to make sure that they can predict someone's future forecasting about their health. What are the likely chances they're going to get a heartbreak or let's just say heart attack? Similarly, they can also predict, in terms of making sure that whatever data is being shown on this picture is accurate. Because with Power BI, you get this backup of all this Excel sheets as well. You can also pull up all those reports to see whether it is a genuine data or not. Now, as an insurance provider, I want to make sure I give legitimate claims back to the right person or an employee. So I can also use this using AI and blockchain. I can also try to make sure that I get the right kind of claim settled. So this is actually helping the insurance companies here in India, and I'm sure this is something which we can do in every part of the world, where we can help both the insurance providers as well as an employee. If you want to get a quick claim, we can use this kind of insights for decision making and things like that, right? Let's just quickly now jump back to the reason why we are here. I'm not sure if you have actually seen like there are different companies who have been some leading players with M365, right? I mean, I've used a lot of M365 for a lot of things. So these tools I'm not going to tell about detail, but again, these are some good tools which I use. One of my favorite is Microsoft Teams. So whether it is file sharing, whether it is task assignments, so it's something we don't have to discuss much in detail. We are doing it on a day-to-day basis. Like, I mean, I remember when I had to talk to an intern based in a different country, and when I had to, give them a task and alert them. So I get all those push notifications, more like project management in a single platform. So Microsoft Teams is something which I can say we can use it for a collaboration hub between multiple time zones, multiple countries, and you can have different project managers, aligned to that. One of the important thing what I see with Microsoft Teams is the breakout rooms, which I really love. Just like you have it in Zoom, right? So you can probably do different group discussions with Teams. You can also integrate a lot of third-party apps, which can help for the workflow automation and things like that. And then, yeah, I mean, Planner tool is something my favorite, where I can assign and track tasks efficiently. So these are some things which we use on a day-to-day basis, but it's just that sometimes we forget what are the benefits. I just wanted to quickly highlight why this is so important. OneDrive, I don't have to talk about this because you know the power of OneDrive. I mean, you can literally store, you have a MacBook, you have an iMac, you have a device like an iPad, everywhere it can get synchronized, right at a button of a click. And the good part is I can also restore previous file version. It has happened with me when I'm traveling and delivering a lecture. I want to see what was my previous file version. So I also want to have a track of that to make sure what are the changes I made to the slide on the later part. SharePoint, I mean, yeah, this is like also one of my favorite, where it is about intranet, where I can share it across to someone sitting closer to me as well. So there's a lot of lists and libraries which we can organize and track project progress effectively. So SharePoint is also something which is super important for us. I'm sure like we have already seen this feature just Amar displayed already about Power Automate, how you can get an approval and let's just say, rejections quickly with this kind of a live demo. So this is just about that, how you can literally streamline your processes through automation, and you can actually overall increase your productivity, which is super important item. And then the most important thing what I really like about Power Automate is maybe removing those repetitive tasks and workflows. So once you have set up a profile, it becomes much easier to follow that flow for desktop, or let's just say you're trying to automate with an email like Outlook. So you can actually do a lot of things, and you can just put your details for one time and then use it again and again. So it just actually saves a lot of my time. It gives me a lot of triggers, and it reduces the manual effort, which I think without Power Automate, my life would have been really troublesome. So now this is a great feature which we can use in terms of automation. Excel, I've already showed some Power BI tools and things like that. I'm sure this we all know about pivot tables, VLOOKUP functions, but this is important because if we really mastered it, it can be. So I worked 10 years in sales. So for me, like reporting to my management about the figures in sales every month, if there is an increase or a decrease, why if it is a decrease, what are the reasons? So it becomes so easy for me by using this advanced Excel techniques. Maybe put a pivot, maybe put a VLOOKUP, and then find all those features. And also like these charts, whether it is a pie chart or different variety of charts, this really helps to show to the manager. So I worked in a big four company, and while showing it to a partner for data visualization, it was such easy process for me to show it, and to convince them, okay, these are the reasons why we have literally increased our team size, and these are the reasons why we are having more achievements, let's just say targets versus sales delivered, right? So you can actually analyze a lot of large data sets much efficiently using advanced formulas. So there are a lot of formulas. I think Excel has been my favorite. There's so many things to learn. Whenever I go to conferences, whenever I meet people, meet experts in Excel, there's so many things they teach me. And then with Power BI, Tableau, and other tools, also making our life much more easier to showcase it for the decision making part. There's also a feature in Excel, I'm sure we know it. Like, let's just say I want to tag someone, I want to mention someone, or I want to, co-author with someone. So I can just use a specific thing inside the workbook, so that multiple users can quickly simultaneously work with me. And this really helps me to make sure that I get all the real-time feedback and discussions with my team. Right? You can just tag someone to facilitate this. This is like a very interesting feature I like, because you literally don't have to go to an email to send them an email. So basically, you just put a tag, and then automatically they'll get a notification and things like that. So this is a great feature. You can attach different copies, as you know, with Excel, right? So this is like an interesting feature. I've already talking about Power BI, how this is interesting, considering like, so yeah, I remember I was in Singapore just yesterday and day before. So I had a 12th classmate, and he was talking about how a lot of downtime happens, when it comes to data centers. So they prepared this amazing reports using Power BI to give an analysis of why the downtime happened, and then how many service requests they were able to cater to, how many service requests are pending department wise. So all this information is much easier for, let's say, the management to understand, where they need to make a quality decision much faster. So yeah, I mean, this really helps transfer the raw data to an interactive dashboard. As you can see, like how things are really moving fast. So this is an example of things done, with one country like Ontario, in Canada. But there's many things you can do quickly with the help of Power BI dashboards. Considering time, I just wanted to highlight in a short nutshell that it just is so fast, because again, once you create it, you can literally get the report much faster, and you can create it in multiple versions. Okay, so even it can work in multiple systems, multiple computers at the same time. You can also convert it and do a lot of things. So let's say if you're transiting from a MacBook to an Windows desktop, so you can also try to convert it. So I have had this challenge of, let's just say, working in Mac, and then trying to convert it. Now it's much simpler, and with some apps you can do it much faster. So Power BI is really one of my favorite tools which I use for Power Platform, like for a day-to-day things as a startup founder and a mentor. So this is super important. Yeah, I mean, Outlook is something most of us are like maybe round the clock seeing a mobile to get notification from our business leaders. So we can do a lot of things. We can manage emails, calendars, tasks, right? Even different categories of folders. So I remember when I was pretty new to Outlook, when I had my first job in 2014, I really faced a struggle to make different folders, make different names. But then now there are different trainings available, so you can actually learn it from scratch, how to make some systematic folders and how to trigger it, so that let's just say you have an important mail, so you put a keyword and that email will give you a high importance notification, or it will give you some kind of a important rule. So you can set all those incoming mails rules and you can literally automate your email management process. And this is why Outlook is so important for quick communication. It's just the one time you need to learn, you need to practice, and then be updated with the latest trend and opportunities in that. And that's how you can probably do things probably much faster. So yeah, I mean, this is something, one of my favorite, which I use on a day to day. So I'm sure we use Entra as well, and we also use Intune, which helps us, to have work profile as well as personal profile. So that also helps, to make sure which apps we are using inside the Microsoft 365 platform. This is my favorite feature. I'm sure a lot of us already use it, but just in case if you have not used, I just wanted to highlight. So think about, let's just say you have a meeting with a CEO of a company and you want to make sure that if their calendar is publicly set, so you want to see when are they available before even texting them or sending them an email. So you go to their calendar, go to scheduling assistant, and then put the timeline when they are free. So I used to do this more when I was in Big Four, working with a partner. So I wanted to see their schedule and see if I can actually match my time zone, and then see when we can sync up every day. So I used to prepare this kind of a schedule for myself and them, and they can also book a appointment with me. I can also book an appointment. One good thing I wanted to highlight with Outlook advanced feature like this is, let's just say you want to book a conference room. So conference rooms also have an email ID. So whenever I wanted to book a conference room, I see like maybe I'm training around, let's just say 120 people, and I want to see whether this conference rooms can accommodate 120 or not. So I can see that through that email. At the same time, whenever I'm scheduling, I can see who has booked that room, maybe who is finishing it earlier or later. So I can also reach out to them through an email or through Microsoft Teams. So this is an advanced feature you have. You can just literally go and select, let's say, as I can see 9 a.m. someone is doing a training. So I can just click this and see who has booked it, and I can also reach out to them to ask if, let's just say, they can make it empty by 9:50, because maybe I have to deliver lecture at 10 a.m. So you can just try to reach out to them, and you can literally streamline your daily agenda. Believe me, like I had to do a lot of trainings when I was in corporate. Right now also I do, but then it's not that much compared with corporate. So on a day-to-day basis, I had to really juggle with a lot of calendar invites and things like that. But with scheduling assistant, my work had become more easier and much more simpler, as I can say. So if you're not using this feature, I would highly recommend you to start using this amazing feature of scheduling assistant. You can check if, and you can make your calendar as well public. So you can put it something like, let's just say, tentative. I've put some meetings which I feel it's important, or maybe I may or may not attend. So you can put it as tentative. You can put out of office, working excess. So there's so many options you can put it. Even if you are working outside of your working hours, maybe it's already 10 p.m. and you feel like, okay, you want to work outside of your working hours. So you can also select this option. So there's so many things. Let's just say from someone who is watching your calendar, it becomes so easy for them to select, and to make sure there's no conflict on this calendar. So this is just an amazing fee I can use to do a room finder and things like that. This is an old thing. I don't want to tell much more about to-do list and Microsoft for task management, but it's just like you can do a lot of project management. You can assign someone some tasks. You can do multiple things, and you can get all those notifications. It's just like how you have, let's just say, if you are a startup owner, the importance of, let's say, tools like Atlassian products. I use Trello, or let's just say Asana. So it's just the same thing. You can do a lot of project management. Right, Microsoft Planner has been my favorite. You can literally do a lot of things together. You can synchronize with a lot of people, in terms of meeting them. And also you can see the accountability part, which is my favorite. So you, when you put a deadline saying like, look, I want to finish this on XYZ date, and the other person exceeds that date, they get a notification every single time saying like, look, the deadline is over, so what's the recent update. Let's say if you work with a lot of data scientists, developers, so really need to make sure they're delivering on time. So as a project manager, you really have to see that they are moving it faster and forwarder. So all those kind of notifications, you can collaborate with different stages, as you can see here, like scope, analysis, design, and development. So every stage you can have different number of people who can support you that way. I'm sure we use a lot of Microsoft Forms as well for feedback. Just like I mean, Mohammed is organizing this event, right? So we'll get a form to fill in once, let's just say, the event finishes. So this is also an interesting thing. I do it to check about, let's say, the speakers, the feedback about how the session went, what can be improved overall, and let's just say which of the stream did you enjoy the most. So did you like the power user streams? You like a business stream? IT Pro stream, right? Or let's just say, what level of sessions do you typically enjoy? So I do more sessions, let's just say, with intermediate or expert level. I started with obviously beginner and novice, but then I moved forward to the next level. But then I also like to do a mix on match and check, what are other speakers doing maybe at that different level. So all these kind of insights really help, not just like from an organizer point of view, but more from a speaker point of view as well. So these kind of reports really help us to become better at every stage. Right. So Microsoft Forms is one of my favorite, which I use it on a day-to-day basis, and also you can do it for quizzes as well. So you can also, let's say you're part of a learning and development team, or let's just say you want to organize something for your IT team, you want to organize a quiz. So this is also an interesting tool you can use to create surveys and quizzes both. So Microsoft Form is also something you can use this software, not just software, I can say it's just a survey form. Yeah, I mean, obviously, two-factor authentication. So I don't want to talk much more about that. But it is super important, why two-factor authentication and all this identity and access management is important for your IT, right? So every time you need permissions, all this multi-factor authentication is important. Because again, the DDoS attacks, or let's just say sometimes banks going down, or let's just say, like downtime. So there's a lot of things happening across. So you really need to be sure. There are a lot of scams happening. You have to be really sure. I mean, you can just check in your emails. You might be getting a lot of emails. Someone, showing like they are your boss from XYZ organization. They need some urgent money or things. Do not click those links. Just check the email ID from which you are getting the email. They might put in a subject line saying it's urgent, or maybe they might use your boss name and say like, can you do a payment and things like that. But make sure to check the email ID, because logically speaking, why would your boss mail you? They would actually call you on a number, or let's just say, chat with you on a chat, right? Like WhatsApp or things like that. Why would they actually put an email? So just be sure and report it to your IT. I would highly recommend that you make sure that you don't click all those phishing links and not give your personal informations and things like that. I mean, productivity gains can be obviously like measured with different kind of benchmarks. So with Microsoft 365, you can also have different kind of levels where you can actually check each of these things with your workflow for further improvement. So this is like a productivity matrix. I've just taken an example of how different, like departments, like let's say I talk about sales, I can check the sales growth, revenue per sales representative. For customer service, I can see what is the support time they are taking. So all this with 365, I get all those analytics at my button of a fingertips, right? So that's how important it is about measuring my productivity gains. I mean, you really want to make sure you talk with a lot of people, and like you get all those results much faster. Let's say compared with the manual flow. So this is something super important to increase, regardless of whichever department you're working, or you're trying to work with cross departments. So this is something I would highly recommend you to, use it. Right. And yeah, I mean, like obviously you can use it for custom app integrations, advanced team collaboration, streamlining your team. So Microsoft Teams, you can do a lot of things. You can, like, as we are already live, you can, so I got access, let's just say, as a speaker to present my screen, right? So you can make someone as, like an attendee, or access as an organizer. So a lot of benefits you have with Microsoft Teams. You can remove a participant, you can mute a participant, you can do multiple things with a button of click, right? So this is like something important, which I mean we can use it. And obviously if we get with different custom bots, that can make our life easier, maybe scheduling it and all those things, so that can really. So yeah, Microsoft channels also is something which I really love using it. I mean, you can have shared notebooks, you can have different threads, ultimately the aim is to improve the productivity work which we are doing and making sure that it helps us in a collaborative decision making support. So that is something which we can do with Microsoft Teams. SharePoint, there's so many things which we can talk about, but I think one of the important things I wanted to talk about, managing large scale document libraries. So I mean, with advanced techniques for metadata management, content governance, search optimization, you can do a lot with the version control and efficient retrieval. So yeah, I mean, there's so many things you can do